have with me our Governor of our nation's capital, the Honorable Powes Parkop, as well as our Minister for Internal Security, Minister for Communication, our Minister assisting me, Minister Chichenko, as well as other leaders, Minister for Government Affairs here, and our local member of this part of our city, the Honorable John Halper. I want to indicate to all of you later this afternoon, our controller of our state of emergency here in our city, acting Commissioner of Police Manasupe, will be with the Internal Security Minister to announce certain measures we are taking to ensure restoration of full order in our city is given and uplifted at the very earliest. But firstly, I just want to offer my thankfulness to the majority of our residents of Port Moresby City, our nation's capital. What we saw happened in 2 nights ago, and on Wednesday was an unfortunate event. We could have had the explosion into a proportion that cannot be contained. But I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate the leadership of Governor Parkop and our nation's capital leadership, people of our city. Yes, you look around. Of course, there were substantial damages, and if you quantify them, the vast majority of our city remains intact. This is our only nation's capital, our biggest city, the city in which the seat of government is housed, the city in which the majority of the headquarters of businesses in our country is housed. And I just want to say thank you to all our residents, those at 9 Mile, at Makana, at 8 Mile, at Erima, at Kipo, at Boroko, at Sabama, at Taroma, Town, Tokorara, Gerahu. You know, we picked up that what happened on the night of Wednesday had element of an organized arsonist, and it was assisted by some rogue element of our police force. Investigation is now going deeper into this area, and within the next 14 days, full investigation would have been completed, especially on what transpired. That should give us a basis to take further administrative action as well as criminal actions through the due processes. But in the meantime, I just want to inform residents of the city, expect the controller to make announcements later today when all due processes are retired. He will step out with the Internal Security Minister. It will not be a harsh, strict lockdown. We want to keep our city operational. We want to keep our city functional. It is just for public safety. It is just for order, especially when in certain key locations, Gero for instance, or in Badali, Koki for instance, where shops have been burnt, or Wagani. These are major areas where people come together for market and for purchase in our shops. We just want to have order in the way things are done in our city, and those measures have been introduced. It will not be a harsh, strong, stiff curfew. People movement will still be allowed, but limitations will be maintained. The controller would express exactly the final details. From what I know, based on discussions we had earlier today, there will be no crowd movements in the city, except funerals and church gatherings. Others, apart from this one, there is no crowd movements. There will be no body of car moving around. Alcohols will be limited to permitted areas and restaurants. There will be people intoxicated on the streets, on the roads, loitering unnecessarily. All these things will be, police will have the right to search as to what you're doing. And you know, it's just not police on the road, but it's additional support from defense have been called upon. Defense and police will work side by side. Today is the first day in which this lifestyle for the next 14 days will be lived upon. The controller and the Internal Security Minister we'll go into the fuller details later on today. So thank you to everyone for your patience and understanding. I do want to apologize once again to members of our business community and the law-abiding general community, as well as our friends from abroad who live, work, and stay here with us or have been visiting us. I do sincerely apologize for the unnecessary stress that has been placed upon us. That was totally unnecessary. Pay mishap or pay deduction issue that was totally taken beyond what could have been a normal industrial way of resolving disputes. It was just blown out of proportion on Wednesday, as I did indicate in the press yesterday. The evidence of organization behind what did take place. You asked me this question 12 days from today or 13 days from today, I would be better equipped with the investigation report on what did transpire and further course of actions that the government will pursue administratively and police will pursue from a criminal point of view. So on this note, we will get Governor Parkop to say one or two words. I want to, again, whilst I apologize to everyone, I want to also apologize to Governor of our nation's capital. He's done a tremendous job in the last 17, 18 years under his administration. You all know what Port Moresby was before he took office. Under the last 17, 18 years, the Honourable Powes Parkop has done his utmost best to put the image of Port Moresby into the place it should have been. But one lid of match has eroded 17 years of work that has been put into this city. Governor, I just want to give you my assurance. We will work with your city hall to ensure we rebuild from this. And part of the rebuilding would take into consideration how we deal with vagrancy, how we deal with people ID in the city, how we deal with people coming into the city. You must have a valid reason to come in, and you must have ID to come in. We will utilize our census for 2024, our nationwide census, to head count on who we have in a city, who we have in our country, and we will interface that or roll that out also with an ID-based program. And every citizen must be ID'd in our country, so that with an ID we know who is moving in and out, and we account for every citizen's and human right is a qualified right. You live with the respect of others' right in living in our city with peace and harmony. And so those will be tallied upon from the lessons learned in this catastrophe that has happened in the last few days. We will rise up from this to ensure we build back better and restore the amazing Port Moresby Governor Parkop was working on, so that our nation's capital could be the first nice point of entry for visitors and businesses and people into PNG through Port Moresby. Governor, we apologize. I want to say that those who are in the business community who have been affected in the losses, I don't know whether Post Korea had me loud and clear yesterday, but I did indicate that we have some assistance program. We will be working through this. We'll be working through this. Post Korea seems to have a habit of trying to run up headlines that are contrary to what was intended. We did indicate yesterday that there'll be assistance. I know they put in the second page assistance that we said, but they did a counter headline that I don't know where it was coming from. But in any case, if it wasn't clear yesterday, we did inform that there'll be full assessment into the losses faced by our business community. I want to thank Governor Parkop for reaching out to them earlier today. As he did yesterday, I did also reach out to some of them who have been providing essential business services in our city, not 1 or 2 years, but over 30, 40 years. And their loss is our collective loss. I did ask them that we will look into some incentives or some assistance packages to ensure they get back up on their feet and to service our economy here in Port Moresby, in our nation's capital. Governor Parkop I want to give this moment to you to address the press, just to give assurance to our people. But we are working hand in hand, national government with the city municipal, to ensure that essential services are not stopped, flow of goods and services remain, and restoration of normalcy comes back to our city and to our nation's capital. Governor, please.
Thank you, Prime Minister. I acknowledge Ministers of State and my colleagues from the city, Honorable Justin Chachenko, Honorable John Kaupa, members of the media. I want to firstly thank Prime Minister for his leadership, and secondly for the initiative that the national government is undertaking to help all of us to recover from a sad, tragic, but a regrettable day, the 10th of January 2024. A lot has been said, but the most important thing now is for us to get to normalcy, to get to recovery, rehabilitation, and to get our city, our capital city back in, its outstanding form, or to highest level that can continue to serve the government of the day, also the stakeholders in the city, and of course our entire country, being the capital of our country. That's been the focus of myself as governor since Wednesday, and our team in the NCDC, city manager and the team, and all the members of parliament from the city. And I want to assure everyone that we are working closely with the Prime Minister, the National Security Council, the NEC, and all the Department of the State, police especially, to enable us to recover. So in terms of recovery and getting us to move forward, for us in the city, and I've expressed this to the National Security Council yesterday, to the NEC, and to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Internal Security. Number one priority is to put in place a security force, especially a police force that is loyal, we can trust, and build and restore confidence in all the sectors of our city, but more importantly, the business sector. The business sector, the trust and confidence level have been shattered, and we need to reach out to them. So the initiative that have been announced, I want to thank the Prime Minister, the state of emergency, a limited state of emergency, and I am happy that it's a soft state of emergency, not to cause too much disruption, because we have had enough disruption, enough problems already. But this is, I believe, necessary in order to stabilize the situation, especially to put in place a security system that, as I said, it's trustworthy, builds confidence. As part of building confidence, I and our team met with the business community, particularly those who have been unfortunate targets of this mayhem on the 10th of January. If I could name them, Bright Bell, CPL, City Pharmacy Group of Companies through their franchise Stop and Shop, Papindo, Number One Trophy House, Big Rooster, Steamship, Eliseo, Dash Bash, and some of these other corporates in our city. The important thing to note is that these corporates who are part of our city, first and foremost, they have nothing to do with the problem that gave rise to the mayhem and carnage and unrest on the 10th of January. They are not responsible for this tax increase or glitch or whatever problems that happen in the system. They are totally innocent. They don't deserve this type of treatment that we subject them to on the 10th of January. Most of these corporates, they have been in the country for a long time. Not only they have been in the country for a long time, but they are brand names, household names in our city and our country. Brand Bell, you don't find it in the world. You only find it in Port Moresby, in Papua New Guinea. CPL, maybe some part of it might be in Fiji or something, but the brand and the name and the core business is here in Port Moresby, PNG. Big Rooster likewise. Steamship. Steamship is as old as Papua New Guinea. These are corporates, old and emerging one like Alicio and Despesh and Bismillah. They've been household name and flagship, corporates, good citizen, corporate citizen of our city and our country. They pay their tax, they employ people, they generate income. They are part of the core of the economy of our city. Prime Minister, the city, we don't have natural resources like the provinces have, but we are almost half of the economy of the country. This is the significance of these corporates that we subjected them to. It's unacceptable. Attack on 10th of January. So part of the reach out is to give them confidence and trust so that they can rebuild. And what I want to announce today is that Prime Minister, Ministers of State, members of the media, our local and international that are here, it's not easy for these corporates after all their time and all they've put into the heart and soul into the city and the country and our economy. But today when I had a meeting with them in the morning, all of them, without any failure, they all expressed that they are committed to rebuild it. They are committed to our city and to our country. And I'm humbled by them, Prime Minister. I'm humbled by them with the attack today. And so we must reach out to them. So the first and foremost, the security system. I'm happy that this limited state of emergency is to, as I see it from the city level, is to ensure that we put in place a security, especially police force that has been good to us in the past. Prime Minister, I want to say this, that the NCD command has not failed us. Minister, yes, you know this too, internal security. They have not failed us, but on that day, they failed us. And my confidence too is shattered. And I believe the city residents, both corporates and our ordinary citizens, decent people of our city, their confidence too is shattered, and they want to have a police force or security force system that they can trust and they can allow their children and their wives and husbands and to go out their normal life, go to work, go to school, go to the market, go to their business, and the big corporates as well. This is the number one thing that we are looking at, and I'm happy that this limited state of emergency will enable the government with the security leadership in our country, especially now we have acting Commissioner for Police. The defense force will come up, that they can put in place as soon as possible this system. Secondly, as part of reach out and helping us to recover, we must reach out to them financially. Prime Minister, giving them tax and so on, that's something we all should welcome, tax break and other incentive. But I believe, and I would like to impress again, that, and I've made the submission to the National Security Council and also the NEC, that we must accord them some financial returns or assistance now, immediately, as a measure of confidence building, but to also help them to recover. Many of them, in the dialogue that I had with them, our team held with them today, their biggest challenge is to keep the employees on payroll, but also to rebuild. And I think the third part of that, and I would like to also state this publicly to the media, is that Prime Minister, we must help them with the forex exchange challenges that we have. Part of the recovery, they must have access to foreign exchange so that they can import, like Brandwell. They probably lost up to about 100 million especially from their warehouse. CPL, I think 60 to 80 million, just based on, subjective observation and assessment of their damage and loss. And the other business house would mean millions. To recover, especially corporates like us, CPL and Brandwell, they import. So this is going to be a challenge for them. There are some corporates who have been subject of this, very unacceptable attack, that they've lost everything. There's one supermarket out there at Casey in Tarama Valley. This woman, she's given all her life and savings and everything. Now she's left with virtually nothing. Nothing, not even some money to sustain herself, even for one day. This is the extent of the challenge that we face. And Prime Minister, I'm impressed on the Prime Minister and the NEC. I will leave it in their good hands and wisdom and consideration that apart from all the other reach out that we must do to help us to recover, especially the corporates, is to give them this level of comfort and trust. Security system, financial assistance, assist them with accessing foreign exchange so that they can get on to build and rebuild and recover. I'm very thankful to them that they're committed to, as much as possible, keep their employees, even though it's hard for them to keep their employees. They find ways to, filter their employees into different sectors of their businesses, and I thank them. I thank them for, making that type of arrangement, because one of the consequences of this is that a lot of people have the potential to be unemployed, and it will affect a lot of families. Final point I want to say in this regard is this, that these corporates, some of them are maybe owned by individuals, particular companies, but many of them are owned by Papua New Guineans. They are owned by our super funds. Like CPL, its major shareholder is the super funds, Nest Fund and Nabawan Super. That's thousands of our employees, decent public servant and private sector employees who own that company. So we are taking ourselves. We've destroyed our own company. Brian Bell is equally major shareholder or big shareholder is the super funds, Nabawan Super and Nest Fund. Again, this is a company owned by our own people. Steamship has a shareholding by our super funds. This is the contradiction or the, lack of appreciation and the consequence of our one day of madness. For me as governor, I want to maintain, and our team my team, members of parliament and municipal government, what happened on Wednesday, I maintain that it's unacceptable and not justifiable under any circumstances. You have grievances. There might be merits to your grievances, but how you address your grievances shows that it's irresponsible, completely irresponsible. And it's not acceptable now. We don't accept it, I don't accept it. People must be brought to account. Prime Minister, at your level too, I'm happy that you have started to bring people to account. We should go to the extent that we can go, people be brought to account. The perpetrators too, those who are in the city who have looted, and I hope the state of emergency will go after them, because there are people in abundance who have stolen property, are in possession of stolen property. That's a criminal offense. And it's easy to identify them because they are still indulging in whatever. Some of them are getting drunk even as we speak now. Trukai terminal out there at Koko Motukea, even me as governor, I didn't know that Trukai relocated to Koko Motukea. But somehow, some of these looters, they went out there to loot the entire terminal out there. This shows that there was some level of organized attack and organized crime. It was not just a spontaneous, action or reaction or, that happened on the 10th. There's some level of, organized attack that take place. The attack on CPL, it, shows some level of organized intentional attack. Not only will loot CPL, but will burn it down. Why? There's no reason to burn CPL down. What have they done that they deserve this type of attack? So on behalf of the city, I also have extended our biggest apology to them. I could understand if some of them like give up. But I'm very pleased, Prime Minister, that all of them, despite their loss, it's emotional, mental, stress and traumatized sector of our community, important part of our community, but they are resilient and they want to recover. It's incumbent on us to help them to recover. Prime Minister, thank you very much, members of the media.